I want to. I just for the thrivers watching this, the question I want to ask you is, where is your Dagobah? You might be the Yoda of your given, platform or subject or skill set. Some of you watching this are carpenters. Some of you are bakery owners. Some of you are plumbers. Everyone has their own giftings, talents, skills. But what is that area for you? Like for me, I do classical music, Hans Zimmer, like orchestral scores. Awesome for me. I love it. If I am doing like emails, I love R&B music. I cannot listen to R&B music when I'm writing. I don't know why. It's just because how I'm made. But everybody here, you have your own sweet spot, and it's so important, especially because so many business owners are self-employed. Mm-hmm. So many business owners have 10 employees or less. So many business owners have 10 people or less. A lot of you are working at your house. And if you're working at your house where you might love your husband or wife, but you're constantly being distracted,
go to Starbucks.
You have to go to Starbucks.
I used to go to Starbucks, and that's a plug to Starbucks, but sorry guys, yeah.
I'm drinking out of my Starbucks cup here. I'm not endorsed by Starbucks in any way, and in fact, I believe they actually don't want me to come back sometimes. But
neither am I.
That's our Starbucks plug.
Right. So I would often, go up to Starbucks or a coffee house or something and work, and definitely. If you are at home and you don't have an opportunity to, have an amazing barn to work over, definitely get to a spot with kids and, husbands and, just riffraff during the day coming in. And the distraction of your house, and it might not even be people that is the distraction. All of a sudden you look over and you're like, oh, I've got to iron my husband's shirts, or I'd like to, I think I'm going to go make myself a sandwich. I think I've got to clean the dishes. Maybe I should literally clean my oven right now. And all those are just super distracting. When you're sitting in a coffee house, there's you can just focus. And that's a huge tip.
I love it. I love it. Now, if you're watching this, I want to read another notable quotable to you. This is from the author Simon Sinek. He says, there is no decision that we can make that doesn't come with some sort of balance or sacrifice. And what he's talking about, this attempt to balance, your spirit, your mind, your body, your finances, your relationships. I know it's not, as an entrepreneur, you cannot 100% be balanced because you've got to have things you focus on and things you're not focusing on. But how do you try to find some semblance of balance, or what areas do you try to, do you say, okay, my family and my finances, and then, maybe I let fitness go, and then let's go, or which ones are you say, well, fitness, but family, I haven't talked to my kids in several weeks. What areas do you focus on? How do you try to do that?
So I was at a dinner that I was invited to in New York City.
Ooh, name drop, New York City.
New York City, the Big Apple. And it was an amazing dinner with leaders in my industry and internet publishing, and everybody at the table, extremely successful. And so somebody asked me, how do you do it? And, blah, blah, blah. And I balanced it all or whatever. And I'm like, I just gave a de facto answer. And I said, I'm just trying to, find balance. And that, that's what I'm doing, just keeping it all balanced. And I just got this big, balance is baloney. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love that balance is baloney. And I was like, what are you talking about? Nobody says that. Are you crazy? And so how he explained it to me was, when you're balanced, you're just moving around, moving along. You're just moving along. And, that's great. But when you're unbalanced, you can launch things. And yes, but I said, but you can kind of slide off the other side too, but...
what areas do you get unbalanced in? What is your move? What do you do?
I guess I feel like I get the opportunity to work at home. So, and I set hours.